Well, hello everyone. This is Jurgita with Stitches and Coffee with Jurgita, and welcome to my channel where I try all kinds of things with the needlework related to any kind of project, specialty stitches and 3D designs. Plus, I'm trying out all kinds of different other crafts, so you're always welcome to suggest something for me to try. And one of these projects that I planned for this year, 12 different things that like it's been very long time I've done it or never done something like this, is this one of those Cloisonne kits that I got. I showed you in some of my purchases and my plans for this year. So I got 2 kits in here, and let's see which one, since I've never done it, I'm gonna try out. So there's some instructions that seems like very simple to do, and it got stuck to my thing here. Hopefully not gonna peel off all needed instructions here. Let's do this sticky paper. And I've got 2 kits that looks like on a hardcover drum, something like this. And I got 2 of these designs. So this seems like might be a little bit more complicated because more smaller parts in here. So I think I'm gonna leave this away for now. But what I wanna try, hopefully it's not too noisy for you, is gonna be this. So it's sort of like almost like embroidery frame, but it's would be ready for like a hanging, and drawn lines in here you can kind of feel with the finger, little bit raised a tiny bit, so you would know where to work. And the thing for Cloisonne is that you put like a glue, you put a wire along those lines, then you get what is like a sand, you make it all wet, fill it in, and let it dry. So what was in the kit are those cups for mixing up, and sprays, the glue that is needed to attach the wires, little extra little cups, then like this, like a what do you call that, that poured it in like you can drop droplets. And then in the kit, since it was for 2 kids, so I have enough for two of these. We have a little spatula that straighten out lines. We have those little wires, and let's look at that a little bit closer since we're gonna be using it. I can pull it out. So they're like a flat bendable wires, and they're a little bit flat. I don't know if you can see the flatness. Probably reflection is amazing here. So it's a flat but wider, and I'll have to do this glue and shape it as it is in here. So there's a wire pile with a little bit more glue. Then we have this laminating and fixing glue for the sand, another itty bitty spray thing. We have the scissors because we'll need to cut the little wires in here, wood pieces to flatten the wires so they would be nice laying there. We have the stand for later on, and we have little tweezers to hold it and help us shape all in that, because we have to be very specific in those lines. So those are the tools that I'm going to be using. Oh, look at those big giant ones. Great grip for those. So I'll be using this. And in another thing that is much, much heavier, we have sand. It looks like almost like a glitter, but they're all numbered. Different color sands that we'll have to mix it in for later to spread it out in between. But I think first I'm gonna work on putting lines with the wire. I'm sure it's gonna take me a while to do it, so there's instructions, all kind of different things. So hopefully it's gonna come out very nicely, but it looked very, very interesting, something to do. So good explanations in here. the whole thing is all ready to pretty much go. Like I said, main thing right now for me is to figure out how to bend this wire in such a shape that it would not be like a squared off, that it would round up nice, and you cannot leave any spaces in between the different parts where I need to cut, otherwise all that sand is gonna leak out. So it's a pretty meticulous work waiting ahead of me, but ooh, look at that, like a bangles. I'm making myself laugh, I know. So I'm gonna try this. We'll see how it's gonna go. And this is what I got in my just to start. So let's look a bit closer. Wow, that was a scary thing to do, and I think it's going to take me a while to learn, because especially when you do like a small start, like for example in here, you see I did not get on the line because that part just wouldn't stay down, even I was trying to hold it. And then the way I bend, sometimes it doesn't want to put down, so it took me a while to figure out how to even start with pressing. I was using boards, and so this was like a twice done glue, and you can still see some shiny part with the glue left, and it was drying out by then. I did not know how much glue I need to put down. I did not want to do very thick globs in there, and just enough. I waited as it was suggested. It says between 3 to 8 minutes when after I started putting glue, but with all the cutting, it took me a while to do, and some of the parts were kind of harder to figure out which way should go, which way to cut. Like for example, in here, instead of trying to make more sharper turn, I just did like a little area here to cut, just this one, and then start the next one. So it took me quite a bit of time, especially as beginner. Like you can see here, I did not did the correct bending. It would not, like you put one end and it stays in. No, I kind of had to hold it on so it does not bend when I was trying to get with the mini like pincers pliers to bend in a certain way. But I think that's a good start. And then I was using those wood blocks that were given to really try to flatten it out, and I think I got pretty good way, even though it feels like some popping out a little bit more. Like this was a little bit, I think, more standing out, but hopefully I'll be able to get a good grip on that next time. And it says if you see a little bit gap, you can always put the glue. Main thing is for that sand not to flow over. So especially on outside lines, I'll have to do it. But this is what I have as a start. You see, I started the next areas in here, and this one is probably gonna be just a tiny, again, tiny little cut. I can probably gonna figure out approximately, and then bend it, and then try to put on the glue, because while holding this part and bending, it might not turn out very nice. But I'm learning, and hopefully I'll be able to show you how I'm doing all of this. I think it's not horrible that I went a little bit inside of the lines, but this is what it looks like. Right now it's very shiny, light bouncing off, but it was a long beginning, all kind of learning new experiences, especially like you see those tiny hooks in here that had to be done, and I think this hook doesn't even touch that one, but maybe the glue will keep from stands putting in, and there's no numbers written down which to do where with which colors. So that's going to be partly my imagination, I guess, which ones I want to use. Perhaps I'll look at the pictures what it could be, but pretty much gonna work, and you will be with me along the way of my learning experience of this Cloisonne. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly, but this is what I've got right now. And now I've decided to pull out my vintage lilies just because its partner already been waiting for quite a while to get this one stitched so they can be framed together. And the pattern is by Merejka. Right now I have about 19%, and this is what it looks like right now. I've stitched in July just about one day, and I need to do it in August because I started this in August and I want to continue. So this is what it looks like, and just had a little needle put in, and I've reached almost the top, and I found fabric that was very similar in color with vintage roses that I've done before. So kit came with the Ada fabric, and I needed to have a linen to match the roses. So this is what it looks like right now, and this is what it should look like once it's done. So I'm gonna spend a couple of days enjoying these flowers and filling them up. So we'll see how it's gonna look, and I'll come back with some results. And several days passed, so hopefully you can see the difference. I did quite a bit, worked with some full stitches and some in half stitches, but I barely got sometimes one day just a couple of hundred total stitches done. So at least right now I'm happy 32% is done. So at least that's good, and you can see more filling out and where the leaves popping out in here, and just keeps growing and growing. So hopefully that will grow steadily. Again, just slowly filling up this whole area, and then I kind of just went with the thread and finish up the whole area. Then if it's anything left, I put it aside, like store it with the regular original thread sorters, but if I finish and there's just a little bit left, I just leave it off, so once I roll her up I can finish it up, and I do not want to start the new thread. So this is what it's gonna look like. You can kind of see the shape of some areas that still need to fill in, but so far I'm happy. I've done at least this much in those few days that I got barely to stitch. I was sewing up, adjusting my son's pants for his culinary outfit, and needed to do some cutting after he washed it to adjust, because luckily they make it too long, not too short, so I was able to do that, and he's happy to do this. And the school year started, so all kinds of clubs kicking in the high school, and my daughter just find out today that she made it to her first musical as a freshman, barely in the school, so that's great. And next week is gonna start all kinds of other different clubs without the music, so life is gonna be busy running around. I'm doing all kinds of health tests that my doctor prescribed for checkups. He wants to always make sure that I'm up to date with all my things, and I had to do my wrist x-ray because it's been several months and still is not fully healed, so just to make sure that we're thinking it might be like what he said, not tendonitis, something with maybe tendons to do, and not broken any tiny bone in the wrist, but just to make sure we did the x-ray. So I'm doing all kinds of blood works and etc. So that's taking me a little bit more busier timings. So back to the stitching after quick and short and hopefully sweet life update. That this is what I have right now for these flowers. I don't know when I'm gonna pull it next, but I'm sure you'll see it once I do. So the end of August is on the nose, and I want to start the one more thing to make it 4 new starts this month, and it's going to be from this magazine, which is December 2008, the Cross Stitcher. This is what it looks like, and I've decided to start this Roly Poly Santa designed by Pamela Kellogg. It was originally suggested to use 28 count even weave, but I think I'm gonna be using 20 count. I had this Charles Craft fabric in here. I calculated because the tag disappeared after a while, so this is 20 count, looks like a linen, but since it's gonna be a full coverage and I did not want to have like a almost 5 inches high ornament, because I think I'm gonna make it in a like more rounded ornament if it's possible, or at least some poofy. So on the 20 count it would be about 2.2 by 3.4 inches, so I would cut out a good inch of it, and there's gonna be quite few threads in here that you can see the list goes on, and it's also asking for a cryonic number 4 braid. But since I'm making a bit smaller fabric size, I might not use a number 4. I might use something different, just thinner possibly. And as you can see, there's more outlines going to be back stitching to do, and there's going to be a lot of that cryonic happening in the outfit. It's going to be sparkly. So this is part of my cutting down on a magazine collection list, and making more small ornaments. So there's would be something to throw in a bag on way somewhere to like a doctor's office or any other waiting places. It's easy to travel with. So I think I'm gonna just put a start, and I don't know, maybe even finish this year. Probably not within the next few days, because I have a big ones to work on project still, but this is what I want to work on now, and we'll see how this turns out to be. And I I stitched just for a little bit in that day. So this is what I've got. It looks something like weird, like with some rain falling, some weird green stuff, but that's how it goes. So I did in like a white color, majority of his beard went a little bit into the hat, and then you see some greenery in here, and I started like around his little beard, go down, it goes with the stripes in here. So there is what I've done, but the fabric is very strange. It reminds me of like a potato sack, burlap kind of thing. And the little slabs that I had even like in here, they're very pointy and kind of sharp. So it's this roughness of the fabric that it reminds me of my childhood days when we would all go and gather up potatoes in those big giant bags put in, and this is exactly what it feels. So I don't know what kind of linen it is, but perhaps it is burlap linen, because it was not exactly marked type. So this is where I am right now, and I did not cut off the whole piece, because like you see the line, this is where approximately I'll be cutting when I'm making into ornament, but it's easier to hold in the frame, because as you can see, practically not everything fits in, and I'm not sure if it will, I'll have to move around the frame to fit the bottom of his round part or not. But this is where I got, and at least the start is done, so I'm happily gonna be putting this away, at least until the next time. And since it's the end of the month, like a tradition for me now, every end of the each month, I work a little bit on my girl ghost, or ghostly girl. Any way you want to translate, is a ginormous piece of mine, and of course I'm stitching that in a half stitch. And let's see where I'm gonna start. So for those of you who don't remember, or first time on my channel, especially in this video, I try to do each month, the past, I think now it's the second year that I'm doing this constantly. And for this year, in order to do the second third of this row in within the frame size, I need about 3,500 stitches each month to do. So sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And in the beginning it was much easier, because you just had some similar threads that if you make a mistake, then it's not as much seen. But when you get in the specifics, like I couldn't just put the bright white anywhere in her hair, like those butterflies are just pop out kind of thing. And it's probably would be much sharper if I was doing that in the full stitch, but for that, especially using so many blends, I would have to go up the count of the fabric, and this is a 25 count Lucas Stramin fabric, and as you can see, it's already giant size all the way to here, so it would be ginormous if I had to do on a bigger fabric, and I did not want to do that, so my choice was 25. I think go even bigger number of the count, it would be very hard to and pack, like 28 it would be super packed, because in some places it's already so packed, like in here you literally can feel the bump, because it's like a giant confetti places around those ribbon areas especially. So that would not be a good idea. So as always, you have to kind of figure out design and which fabric it can survive on. So 25 count, and as you can see, I'm not marking, it's pre-gridded fabric. Some people have trouble. I, in the beginning, also had to learn how to use these lines, because they're like two lines that have yellow. So figured out how I want to see it, and that's how I do it. And I think I'm just gonna continue going, maybe finish her dress. It's almost done in here, and some spaces in the hair. And if you compare to the picture that it was made from. Then you have again like a, this is ear, ghost part ear, I think, showing up. So there's again gonna be a bunch of hair in there, and more details will be in like a finish of hand and dress in this part, and a flowy fabric. So I don't know where I'm exactly gonna work, maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but I want to make at least 3,500 stitches in this one by the end of August. So we'll see if I can actually do it, because I'm not gonna have a lot of time for stitching itself, but I'm gonna try. So this is what it looks like right now, and hopefully in a second you'll see the result. Well, here we are, September starting, so I'm running now end of August view of my ghost girl. So I'm sure you can see where I work, because you would have seen it just a second ago, but I already started to fill in the gaps in here. I did not reach the hand and done it like she would have in here, but I started to fill in the hair of the ghost part, and the ear is already shaping up more. As you see in here, just a tiny part would be in that, and let's see what else is would be here. Maybe like this area, it's going to be filling in there. So this is what it looks like, and I'm very happy that right now I've reached 28% done of the whole piece. So that's at least good. I don't know, would be great in September, end of September, to get 30% total, but I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out by then. But I'm just gonna continue. As you can see, it's nothing interesting happening around here until I get like to her face and features. So that's gonna be like in this area only. So I'll be filling in more those dark spots, and that's what's gonna be in the future. But this is what it's looking like right now. So very happy. Still a long way to go for the next year to fill in that, but it keeps growing and growing. And actually, I did not want to put it down, but it's end of the month, so I have to stop it, because another piece, full coverage, is waiting for me to start. New month plus, maybe you already seen it. Hopefully, I posted by then my game starting 3 months to the finish line. So I have some plans for that. I know I'm gonna be doing each month still all those new starts and these few like monthly projects that I'm doing, Spoiled Child and her. But I'm gonna be trying to do some finishes, because I have lots of starts and not enough things that are already finished, and empty out some of the frames, because I'm still planning to do new starts and I might need those frames. So overall, I also have still guests. My sister-in-law arrived, and a son with his wife to celebrate other son's birthday. So we've been going out like 3 days. So we're doing some stuff and going out and playing. And he received Go game. It's like a Chinese Go. I think that one is Japanese Go, but they're all very similar, or maybe it's even the same. It's interesting strategy game I've seen on my all those numerous shows, especially when it's a show about immortals. They play the Go game. It's very interesting strategy game, and we've been playing with him in this game. So it's fairly okay weather outside, at least in the early morning. So I go still with the dog for long walks. And we've been planning with my sister-in-law what to do at this St. Louis Galleria, what we both gonna be looking for, because she's gonna come for that too. So that's gonna be soon. And then I have all those videos still to put up, and then gonna be Galleria, Stitchy group right before that for my local sit and stitch gatherings. So there's lots and lots still to do besides a regular life. So we'll see. And Overall, in August, I had quite few days that I did not stitch, and that was okay. It was hard to accept it, but I'm getting better at that. And like even stitching this one, I was watching some YouTube videos, and just those boring gray colors here, it was not that hard to work on. Just very relaxing, slowing down kind of thing. And we'll see. I have even more different projects I want to try out maybe next year or so. So we'll have to see. But I'm creating more and more plans for the future. So I think that's it for now. I'm slowly catching up faster on all my comments, but I'm getting more comments. So yeah, I love to read it and answer the questions. And I'm gonna always try to put the links to some of the projects where you could get the patterns. Some you can't, it's unavailable. So for those, I'm not gonna bother myself to search if there's any other area where you could find them. But you'll see this girl in the next video too. And I don't know if I'm gonna do like a full month, or just gonna do in the parts when I'm doing the 3 months to the finish line. We'll see. But right now I need to do lots of uploading and go back to interacting with my family. So until the next time, this is Jurgita saying bye-bye, and thank you again for visiting me.